Hey everybody, welcome. It's Monday, June 6, 2022. Thank you for joining me today. And I am Mona with Journey of Purpose Life Coaching. And I hope you all had a great weekend and we're on to a new week, new beginnings and new possibilities. As we started last week, Seasons and Reasons is a little bit about my life over the course of a month. So talked about adoption last week, and one question I had from someone was the feelings about birth families and how that affected the adoption. And I have to say my feelings towards the adoption people, family and mothers and everybody involved there were times where my heart felt for them because it is a sad time. Like I said, it's an emotional time, roller coaster. But I was so happy to be allowed and blessed with their babies, but it was very hard to see the emotions they were going through because I can only imagine what it would be like to place your baby with another family, but doing it in love and for the best of the baby. So that's why my heart always goes out to the biological family, the birth family, because I really do have feelings for the decision that they've made, placing their babies with me. But now, like I said, at the end of the day or the end of them turning 18 or whatever it is, they get to sit back and look at their children. They have open adoptions and get to enjoy and know exactly what they had for family, where they were at, and things like that. And that's only in the case that I had with my adoption. So I hope that gives some feeling out there where my heart is really for the birth families too, just as much as the adoption families, or for me, the adoptive mom. Today we're going to look at day 2, Polycystic Kidney Disease. And I don't know if I mentioned before I started this with you all that many of my seasons and the reasons for a lot of my decisions kind of cross paths and entwine. And as I mentioned, the adoption and me having making a choice to adopt really related to the season of my polycystic kidney disease. And so we're just going to discuss a little bit about what that means. Basically, polycystic kidney disease is the #1 genetic kidney disorder, at least in the time when I received my transplant back in 2006. And what it means is poly means many, and then cystic means cysts. So there's many cysts that take over my kidneys. They form on the outside of the kidney, and little by little they take away the power of the kidney. The power just cannot function eventually when there are so many cysts on it. And at that time, when the kidneys fail, then you need to have dialysis with hopes of a transplant. Now, I know some people have made decisions that they want to transplant. Some make decisions that they don't want to go on dialysis. That's a very personal decision, but those are those are kind of some options. And I want to say there's 2 stages to polycystic kidney disease. And the first stage is the baby's born with it. And I know people that babies were born with it, and by 10 years old, I'm sorry, scratch my nose here, 10 years old, the baby, I call the baby, the child was on dialysis looking for a kidney. Or in my case and my brother's case, we were both diagnosed in 1987. He was a senior in high school and they found it in him first. So then I went in and had my ultrasound and they found it in me, so I was 21. And there's really no cure. There's no cure for polycystic kidney disease. Dialysis is a treatment. A transplant is a treatment. And I'm not going to go a lot into my transplant because that's going to be another day, another season. But I'm mentioning it here today because that's part of the process. And a lot of people didn't understand that. Even with a transplant, it's just a treatment. But it's better than I thought than being on dialysis. I did it. I had a good heart. I made some great friends, but it wasn't my first choice of what I wanted in life. My little boys were 2nd and 4th grade at the time, and one's attitude was he was gonna drop out of school and he was gonna go sit with mom for 3 days a week, 4 hours each day, and he was gonna be by me. And the other son probably is going to, he wasn't happy either. He was very concerned, but he kind of stepped up to the plate during the transplant time. So I'll share some of his stories, what he did. And it's just, you know, lots of blood work, lots of doctor's appointments. They change your diet if they need to. Things like phosphates and calcium and potassium go out of the roof, usually when your kidneys fail. And so if they can't fix it with diet, then they will prescribe medicine to help with that. You got to watch your fluid intake. My bladder never quit working, so they didn't watch my fluid a lot. I didn't eat a lot of salt anyway. I was raised with not a lot of salt. But in that process, you're just doing whatever you can do best for your body, but you might have families and you might have friends, you know, if you're working, not working. I went on disability during that time. And so it's just, there's lots of health issues out there. There's lots of chronic, but it was just a time and a season for me at the time it happened. We were Cub Scout leaders to my boys. And so I just want to share a little bit about that. If you know someone, not necessarily with kidney disease, but chronic illness, you know, it's an adjustment. It takes time. Lots of emotions flow through you at the time. So that's a little bit about what between I turned 21 and by 38, I was on dialysis. And, you know, it's just, like I said, it creates a season. I don't know what the reason was for that. Yeah, I know it was polycystic kidney disease. My dad passed away with it. It was rampant in my dad's side. I have multiple cousins, an aunt and an uncle who all have that. I'm the only one out of the family I know that made the choice to not have children of my own, not to build family through that. But that's all a personal decision, and it's what works for all of us, you know, at the time. So I'm curious, has there been a time in your life where you've had a chronic illness? Maybe someone really close to you has had a chronic illness. And there's some big illnesses out there. I think we all know some of the number ones. That maybe you could share something through that experience that you learned. And if you have that, maybe in the box below, just share what that experience was. Not the whole experience, but maybe something you learned, something you could share with others, maybe uplifting quote, something that got you through the day. Because we all know that a smile can do tons, and having laughter and support and love around you makes all the world and the difference. So until Wednesday, I'd love you to enjoy the journey, be empowered, live on purpose, and remember, if you need to reach out, feel free to do that through the box, through my email, and maybe there's someone you know that is kind of in a place that a coach might help. That would be great. I would love to serve anyone, and I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday. Thank you. Bye-bye.